welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you at 10 months out. Well, I would say 10 months out. Today's the 9th and tomorrow's the 10th, and the 10th is the day that I had my BHG surgery. So I am 10 months out, and I'm doing okay 10 months out. I would have to say still at 247. Some days it goes to 245 and then it jumps back up to 247. So what can you do? Some days I'm good with my eating and some days I'm not. I definitely am still struggling with water, getting my water in. Also getting my vitamins in, and ashamed to say it, but it's true. I'm still struggling with that, and I feel like if I could just get that under control, that perhaps I would see a change in that scale, So 247, and it's so crazy because I went back some videos and was looking at some old videos that I did, and I've been 247 for a while, and more than what I realized, and it's crazy. I was thinking 3 weeks, 4 weeks. When I went back to other videos, I'm like, no, I've been through 247 for a while now. So I'm stuck at that number. But like this week, I did see a 245, but 2 days later, it went back to 247. So it goes back and forth. Sometimes it's 246. So who knows? Maybe my body is getting ready to make a change. I have no idea, but it is what it is. At 10 months out, I just wanted to go back and kind of review a bucket list that I created during my pre-op phase. And I had just made a list of certain things that I guess they would be non-scale victories, but things that, after surgery I wanted to see if they would improve. And so I came upon it and I was looking at it and I said, my God, you've done 90% of what you wanted to do. And it's so crazy because when I did this list, I was not that optimistic. And I know I'm not the only one. It's like you're writing it, but you don't really, in your mind, because this is before surgery, so you really, in your mind, you don't know. You're hoping that it works. You don't know if it'll work for you. It works for so many, but in your mind, you're thinking you'll be the only one it doesn't work for, And so as I was writing these things, I didn't really feel like they were attainable, but I wrote them anyway. So one of the first things I wrote was to sit in any chair without having an instant fear of not being able to fit. And guys, I sit my behind down wherever, and that's not the first thought anymore. It used to be the first thought. If we went to a restaurant, I would have to get someone to ask, that plastic chair, can I have a metal chair? That was the first thing before I could even sit down. That was the concern if that chair was going to hold me. Or if I'm at the doctor's office, that chair, I don't know if I can get my hips into that chair. I don't want to be in pain waiting for the doctor, And so that used to be the first thing in my mind when I used to go someplace. And so it's not a thought now. I sit down, I have no problem, and I don't even think twice about it. But I did for many years. That was a big deal. Even when I was in college, I was explaining to my mother that in each classroom they would have like a really big chair with the desk connected. And I found out, later that was like if someone was larger, that chair was to accommodate that person. And I would go to class and someone that's tiny would be in that chair, and I would have to say to them straight out, can I have this chair please, because my behind cannot fit in that other chair. And they would always be gracious. Oh sure, I'm so sorry, it's no problem. And I would say thank you. And I would do it several times in a day to the point that people would know, just leave that chair for her, because there were times that I didn't want to disturb anyone. The class already started, and I would sit in a chair that was basically digging into my hip. And I'm talking about a class that was maybe an hour and a half. And so you turn this way, and you turn that way, and your hips are still there. There's no way you can do it. You got your small desk connected, you got your hips, and it's just digging into you. And so you try to go to the bathroom to get out the class to pass the time. You can't pass an hour and a half. You can't do that. You have to come back at some point and just sit down. And so for the most part, I would say 90% of the time, if I got to class early and someone took that chair, I would say something. But if it was ever a day that I was running late and class got started, I felt that that would be rude to come late and then interrupt to act for. No, I didn't do all of that. So sometimes I would be in pain. And so to walk into any establishment and not think about it, pre-op people, if you are on this channel, I'm telling you, even when you write these things, and it's so important to write it because you will come back and it will blow your mind. Write down things that you don't even think that you can do, and then you'll find it yourself doing it. It's amazing. Um, Number two, I said I take public transportation, and but most times I take a seat and a quarter from the other person. And now I sit down, other person, people would come to sit with me, and they would look and they would hesitate, like, okay, they know they can't fit because I'm too big. And or somebody would sit down and then not be able to be comfortable, and then they would get up. And now that doesn't happen. People sit down, it's no big deal, but that was going on. And I felt so bad about it, and I was in so much pain that I couldn't just even be the one to just say, what the hell, I'll just get up. I don't want to take up two seats. I was in so much pain between my back and my knee that I needed to sit so bad. But I felt really bad. I wasn't one of those people, which people, I know them. I have some people like that in my family that just don't, I don't care. I don't care. That's not my attitude, because I feel like they paid to get on the bus as well, and they're entitled to a seat also. And because my behind and my hip is so big, they might have to stand. That I always felt bad about that. Okay. Number three, getting off my CPAP machine. And for me, that was one of my first NSVs. I was off of my CPAP machine, I think it was 2 months, either a month or 2 months after surgery, because during my pre-op diet, I already had lost 21 pounds. And I think it was about a month or two after that. Yeah, I didn't need it. My snoring went away. I went back and got retested. They told me that I was good, and that was fine. And at the time, I said, well, should I keep it just in case? They let me keep it for another month, and then after that, then after work, about getting it back to them, they had to be shipped all the way to Long Island. That's it's about, I'll say 10 miles from where I'm at now. I think about 10 miles. Yeah, about 10 miles from where I'm at now. Had to go back, but I was off of that. So about a month, I would say a month and a half. My girls would come in running, check on me because they so used to my snoring, even in the machine. They didn't hear anything, and I would be taking a nap, and that was the first thing. That's the first thing they noticed, that there was no snoring with the machine. Then if I fell asleep without the machine, no snoring, and that wasn't happening before. I would be so loud that they would hear me throughout the house, but it was gone. It was gone. Okay, number four is wearing a size 16. I have never in my adult life worn a size 16 that I can remember. And I'm happy to say I am in a size 18 now. And it feels good. I can just, even when I put on a 20, it's like really comfortable. So 20 is just, an 18 is fitting. And it's really, I had bought some jeans the other day, and I bought an 18 and a 20 because I said, not jeans, like capri jeans, and they were on sale. So I went and got them, and I said, I don't know about the 18. It's probably not the 18 yet, because depending on the brand, how it's made, some 18s fit me and some don't. But I bought them, and I was surprised because I said, okay, maybe I'm a month or two away before I can get into them. But sure enough, got into the 18, and the 20 I can still fit it, but it's comfortable, and the 18 is comfortable too. So that's something I could say, wow, I'm close to that 16. I'm very close, guys. Okay, I put number 5 as fitting better in hospital gowns, but truth be told, I haven't been back to the hospital. I did have a procedure done on my back a few months ago, and I fit in that. I didn't think about it. I just thought that it was a large gown. I didn't even think about it. But here, this is in my pre-op phase, I did write that fitting better in hospital gowns. But with that one. I think I obtained it. I haven't been in a hospital gown that couldn't fit yet, So, number 6, I said not sweating all the time. Wow, not sweating all the time, because I would sweat all the time. I used to work with a lady that I worked with, and to get to her house, it was like a hill. And I would walk up the hill, in the wintertime, in the summertime, no matter what the weather is. And by the time I got up the hill, I was huffing, I was puffing, and sweating. And my daughter would always say, why do you even wear makeup? You're going to sweat it off by the time you get to work. And I would say, oh, shut up, leave me alone. But she was right. She was right. But now when I sweat because I'm actively doing something, like I'm on the treadmill, or I am not just even walking. I can walk and walk and walk and I don't sweat. But I have to be doing like activity. I guess get the heart rate up and then I sweat. I guess that's the way it's normally supposed to be happening. So when I'm walking, I don't sweat. But if I'm doing something on the treadmill, heart rate is going up, then I start sweating. If I'm cleaning up around the house, I don't really start sweating. But I did before. Really bad, all over the place, and I didn't like it, and it messed up my, along with my makeup, the sweating, and, my neck was so much, I guess shorter. Yeah, I guess it was shorter because of the fat. And I guess, because it was shorter, the makeup would be on my clothes, and then I would be sweating. It was just a mess. It really was a mess. So that's an issue I don't have to deal with anymore. Okay, number 7, I said wearing a pair of heels, not, what I said, wearing a pair of heels. I hate flats. So, as far as that, I'm able to see these, it's like a wedge. Yeah, it's like I don't know if this is a inch and a half wedge. It's just like a little throw on. I couldn't do that before because even that much was too much for me. Everything had to be flat. I could not do this. And now I have buying shoes, and I'm able to get away with, the most I can get away with is 2 inches. I'm not going to attempt anything else because I don't want anything to happen with my knee. I don't want anything to snap with the knee or the back or whatever. So I can get away with 2 inches, but I couldn't do that before. And I'm not so much in pain with my feet. And when I tell you I walk, and I don't sweat, and it just feels so good to not have that physical pain in my knee. It's amazing. And I think that, that right there has carried me, because when the scale isn't moving, which it hasn't, the fact that I can do so much more, that is what keeps me going. Because if the scale wasn't moving, but then I was in pain, or the scale wasn't moving, then I had to, it's like at least it kind of evens out some. It's not moving, but I have so much energy. I still dealing with the thyroid issue, but, I have some medicine for that, and that has been helping me. But it's like I'm really getting it now that that scale really is not everything. It's important because we always measured everything around that scale, but it really isn't everything. Now, would I love to get on my scale and say 237 right now to bring me down to 100 pounds down? I would love it. I would love it. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't want the 237 and then take the pain back that I was in. I would rather be 247 and no pain and let the scale move as it may, because I know eventually it will move. But the fact that I don't have that pain in my body, I thank God for that. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. Let's see what else I have over here. Okay, number 8, I said being able to walk a mile without being in constant pain. There you go. I'm walking all the time. And sometimes, like today, I went out and I didn't take my activity monitor. And sometimes I'm walking, and I'm like, why did I put it on? Because it's like a mental thing that when I see it, I can feel it more, that I can see the numbers. But when I'm walking and I don't have it on, I'm wondering, now I walk from here to there, I know that's a mile. Then I walk back, I know that's another mile. Then in the process, I was still looking around, so what else more is that? So I kind of wish that I got to get back in the habit of just putting it on in the morning, like brush your teeth, do what you got to do, take your shower, put it on. Because I was wearing it every day, and then I kind of slacked off. And I think that will help me to move I'm already moving, but when I can physically see a number to say, okay, well, you know, you want your steps a little higher, push yourself a little bit more. Because even though I did a whole lot today, I really don't know, I don't have any number to show me what I did, but I know I did a lot. I did a lot, and it felt so good. It really did. So, I think this is another video that I'll do another time. Yeah, I'll do that. The next one, that might come for either when I'm at 12 months or 11 months. Anyway, guys, I guess let me see if I can give you a body shot. Let me see, put it over here. Okay, I am 10 months out. I feel good. I am still at 247. It's wavering between 245 and 247. So who knows? But this is the first time that it was kind of wavering in a while. So maybe it's headed to 245, hopefully. But if it doesn't, I have to say this to myself constantly. Even if it doesn't, you're not in the pain you were in. Your surgery has already been a success, and my doctor had to tell me that also. He said, when I first saw you, came in here, you were walking with a cane, you were out of breath. He said, you are already a success. Stop trying to measure your success by a number on the scale. That's not the success. He said, I do the surgery so that people could come off a CPAP machine. People can sleep better. People can walk better. They have a better quality of life. He said, do you have that? I said, yeah, I feel like I do. He said, so then my work is done. It's already a success. Stop looking for a number. He said, because, you know, you see the number, but let's just say you see the number. Let's say your number is, you would love to see 180. But if you had the 180 and then nothing else changed, what good would that 180 be? So even though you're at 247, it's like when I heard that, I was like, yes, it's so true. It is so true. Stop with the scale. Stop with the scale. It's like I'm not courageous enough to physically throw it away, but I see why people eventually throw their scales away because it messes with you. It messes with you. I get it, but I'm just not ready yet to just part with it, you know. But it's a lot. But my surgery has definitely been worth it, and one of the better decisions I've made in my life that I've made on my own. Even though I had family that was against me, I had some family that's very supportive, but I had other family that was not supportive. I had my children's father who, you know, just wanted me to stay how I was, thought I was perfect before, which I don't understand how he thought I was perfect, but he thought I was perfect before. Everything was fine. Either he was in denial or what that, I don't know what that was. But as the fact is, I made this decision and I had to stand out on faith because I didn't have a lot of people really supporting me. And I have some family members who haven't even acknowledged it in terms of when they call, we don't even speak about I had surgery, or when they've seen me, they've never said either you look good or you know keep up the good. Nothing. There's no conversation. I don't even know what that's about, but it is what it is, you know. But anyway, guys, this is 10 months out. Still got this rump, but it's smaller, but it's there. Okay. I feel good. All right, 10 months out. Have a great evening.